everyone, we're going to take a look at XRP today as we've finally had a breakout of this descending channel as well as a break above the 200 MA, which is essentially what we were waiting for. Now, the issue is, of course, we don't have the 200 MA as flush with the diagonal trend line or lower support as we would have liked now, but this now presents us with a trading opportunity because we've had our first bullish signal following the break of this area, and we've moved above the POC and we've broke above the 200 MA. So now it's about assessing where the best place, the most probable place is to enter on the back of a retrace. So obviously, if the price action continues up from here, we'll have to reevaluate. But currently, if the price action remains within this range and doesn't go up much higher from here, then this is the ideal retracement zone. Now, previously, the ideal retracement zone was down here, right in support on the flip side. But because we've had quite a strong break, and because the 200 MA is essentially not quite as flush with support, we can probably expect that the reality is that a retest of what might be this kind of sort of janky double bottom neckline of sorts here with the 200 MA might be the best place to enter. So that level is essentially around $1.95, and that would be the ideal place to enter. So we wait for a retrace. We've got, of course, then the confluence with the 200 MA. We're at the top of the neckline, which means we've got 2 points of confluence. And then we've got, of course, the support just below us to help mitigate any potential downside risk, meaning that if we don't get the bounce we're looking for like this, then if we do see it come down, you know you've got a lot of volume and liquidity, a lot of liquidity below us, right, to potentially move the price action back up to at least give you an exit, a no-loss exit, but most likely we'll also see a recovery from there. So it's a pretty safe play coming in at that level, which is around 1.95, but it does require you to wait for a retrace, but that's the potential setup, and you can put your stop loss essentially just below this previous swing low, which was put in on the 18th of December. Now, of course, if the price action heads up from here and ascends into the next range, then we're going to obviously look for to maybe move up this our ideal retracement zone a little further. But until that happens, this is the most manageable play in terms of risk. And it's just a waiting game, essentially. Now, if you want to look for additional confirmation, you could say to yourself, okay, so when the price action retraces down here, if I see the RSI is then, also let's say the stock RSI is then oversold, as currently it's overbought, then that's an additional level of confluence when it arrives back down at this level at around 1.95. And you could also say, if I see some divergence of any kind, then you could also add that as an extra layer. So you've got the retrace back down to the 200 MA, the retrace back down to the neckline of this potential, of this now confirmed sort of double bottom. You've got the POC just below, and then the idea would be, of course, you come back in for support with additional confluence, oversold conditions on the stock. And potentially some divergence, and that would give you a lot of potential ideas to come in at this level. So you can look for additional confirmation, but even without divergence, even without an oversold stock RSI or traditional RSI, you've still got nice confluence because, of course, we haven't really if we zoom in, you'll note we haven't actually properly retested the 200 MA on this time frame since breaking out. So it is a pretty good play now for XRP, and following all of the frustration of waiting for the price action to break out, now we have something actionable, now we have something to trade, and it looks like, as I said, 1.95 is the key area to watch.